Conventional war. This is the most familiar form of war, fought between organized armies using standard military forces like infantry, tanks, aircraft, and naval units. It usually takes place between recognized states with clear front lines and direct engagements. A clear example is the early stages of World War I, where massive armies faced each other in trench warfare across Europe, relying on firepower and positioning to gain ground. Guerrilla war. This type of war is fought by smaller, less formal groups using hit-and-run tactics instead of direct confrontation. Fighters depend on ambushes, mobility, and local support to slowly weaken a stronger enemy. A well-known example is the Vietnam War, where Vietnamese guerrilla fighters used jungles and tunnels to outmaneuver a much more powerful military force. Civil war. A civil war happens within a single country, where different groups fight for control, independence, or political change. It divides the population and often becomes deeply personal and prolonged. The American Civil War is a classic example, where the nation split into two sides over issues like slavery and state authority, leading to years of intense internal fighting. World War. A world war involves multiple major countries across different regions, often spreading across continents and oceans. These wars pull in alliances and reshape global politics. World War II is the clearest example, involving dozens of nations and resulting in massive destruction, as well as long-term changes in global power structures. Cold War. This form of conflict is defined by tension and rivalry without direct large-scale fighting between the main opponents. Instead, countries compete through influence, military buildup, and ideology. The Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union shaped global politics for decades, with both sides avoiding direct war while constantly preparing for it. Proxy war. In a proxy war, powerful countries support opposing sides in a conflict without directly fighting each other. They provide weapons, training, or funding, while local forces do the actual fighting. The Korean War is a strong example, where global powers backed different sides, turning a regional conflict into part of a much larger geopolitical struggle. Total war. Total war involves the complete mobilization of a nation's resources, including civilians and industry, to support the war effort. The distinction between military and civilian targets becomes less clear. During World War II, entire economies were redirected toward war production, and cities themselves became targets, showing how deeply war can involve an entire society. Religious war. This type of war is driven largely by religious beliefs or conflicts between faiths. These wars are often fueled by identity and deeply held values. The Crusades are a well-known example, where armies from Europe and the Middle East fought over control of sacred lands for centuries. Cyber war. Cyber war takes place in the digital space, targeting computer systems, networks, and data instead of physical locations. It can disrupt infrastructure, leak sensitive information, or interfere with communication. A modern example includes cyber operations linked to the Russia-Ukraine conflict, where digital attacks have played a major role alongside traditional military actions.